professor and a lector and the former editor of the Manila Bulletin and Tempo, other than Tito Nestor Cordero.
Hi, good evening. Congratulations. It's such a moving story that you have told us. May I ask the director, Nico, about the physical arrangements that you had to go through in preparing this documentary? I think you had to shoot in different places. Maybe you can tell us more about that side of the production.
Yes, sir. So, like what I told you, it's been less than almost a year worth of work through the help of Kevin and Chona, and of course our friends from TFC in New York. We were able to get in touch with the Manilaners, and we were able to actually set interviews with them. I think what's important in this work is how you actually always keep yourself in touch with them by keeping yourself in contact by messaging them, sir. Our friends also from TFC in New York helped us film for Lottie. Kevin and I went to Israel. We went to Jerusalem to interview Margot, and also Tel Aviv for Max. We went there also. And we actually had, how many days was that, Kevin?
Well, we had a close tie-up with the Philippine Embassy in Israel. So they helped us set the interviews with the two subjects, Margot and Max. Yeah.
And first with Lottie, we had a pre-interview with her via Skype. Skype muna before we tapped TFC to do the filming for us. And then for the Manila team, we coordinated with our consultants, of course, very reliable consultants, Dr. Jose Tirol and Dr. Ricardo Jose from UP and Ateneo. So,
I think it was a very smart technique that you used in creating a storyline to the story of the two girls. No, there's that strong sentimental value attached to the film because of the childhood of two women.
Right. So actually, it started when we had the interview already. Of course, that's when we started to brainstorm about the script, and basing it from the documentaries that we've seen on this phenomenon. A few of them would humanize the history. And so we realized, why don't we take it from the perspective of children? And so, because when we were interviewing Margaret and Max, well, personally, it hit me that they were so young experiencing these. And when I was 7, I was just watching Nickelodeon episodes, and here they were experiencing these tremendous circumstances.
I think I'd like to thank also Dr. Tirol for his message, the message that he sent us, Chana. I think the attack that we had for this documentary is like what Kevin was saying, a more humanized version rather than just, yes, the facts are very important, but we want to hear the stories, especially for these three people that we're very fortunate to meet. And I think, like what Ms. Sharon said, the greatest lesson of the Manilaner history is actually hearing from them. Yes.
Last question. Would you know why this story has been kept for so many years from the Filipinos? Would you know? I mean, maybe we can ask our...
I will be delighted to, this morning we had the ceremony at the Philippines Women's University, and I was sharing with the students the historic visit of President Duterte to Israel in September 2018, the first ever Filipino president in office visiting Israel. A 3-day visit, which ended in traveling to Rishon LeZion to the Open Doors Monument. Now, I was a new ambassador only 1 week in Manila, traveling with the president. They took us to the Holocaust Park with a Filipino, a president comes, it's like 100 cars with security, 10 secretaries. We arrived to the parking lot of the Holocaust Park. Filipino caregivers in Israel are cheering your president everywhere he goes, which is another phenomenon. And then we need to walk some 300 meters to the monument, and they put few chairs there, and they took us directly to an elderly Israeli Jew in a wheelchair, which I didn't have any clue who was it. The president didn't have any clue who was it, and they introduced him to the president. So the president stands, he was standing, so he shook his hand, and the Israeli, now I know who is the guy, was starting speaking Tagalog to him. And then the president might say, we were shocked, and that was Max that you met. So a visit of Filipino president in 2018 is a historic ending in meeting a Jew that was saved here in 1939. That tells you all the story. The story was not known. And one of my main concerns as ambassador, that Holocaust is not part of the curriculum of Filipino schools. And you have a wonderful, you guys Filipinos, you have a wonderful story to tell. I found the Israeli ambassadors, me and my predecessors, are pushing all over this story. We have very close relations with the Quezon family. And I'm very happy the Filipino government now realized that there is a story to tell. The story is not known, and there is a second story which is even less known, because if you watch Quezon's game, and I recommend all of you, when I see a direct line between Quezon's game and the Millionaires and the Manilaners. 8 years after, there was another great president, Manuel Rojas. He was in the parliament when President Quezon was the president. And in 1947, President Quezon was not alive there, but there was another decision for a Filipino president to make. To vote yes or no for a Jewish state, the United Nations had to vote yes or no. We needed 2/3 majority. It was tough. The only Asian country to vote yes was the Philippines under President Manuel Rojas, despite the objections of a lot of objections. Exactly a tough decision as President Quezon took, and when you dwell and ask what was the reason, because he believed in it. So I tried to ask what's the lesson, and the lesson today when we're in 2020, when we have even leaders in the world, that denying the existence of the Holocaust is to remember and to learn to lesson never again. And what we have seen, it's such an important film. I would show it in every college and every school in the Philippines. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. We need to tell the story for the next generations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Our next question will come from the lifestyle and entertainment editor of Philstar.com and a book author at SciComm Publishing Incorporated. Your schoolmate, Direk Nico,
Yes.
other than Denny Bernardo.
Denny.
Hi, Nico. Congrats.
It's good to see you.
Really good to see you too. What is the central message or takeaway of your docu-series, and what makes it relevant today, even if it happened, well, decades ago?
You know, Denny, I think while producing this documentary with the team, what I realized is really our compassionate, our characteristic is being compassionate. That is our main characteristic as Filipinos, I'd say, from the documentary that we were able to produce. And I think this documentary series is a gift to the Filipino people, because it's something that can actually ignite that sense of pride in our hearts. And that's why I think, like what I told you earlier, I didn't know much about this history. I actually didn't know, like zero. Okay, zero yung alam ko, pero but because of this documentary series, I was able to learn as well. And I'm sure not only me, I'm sure members of the team, from every single one of us learned from this, because this is a story that's never been told. And even if we see interviews of Manilaners from the past, even if we've read articles or we've seen some movies that actually tapping into this topic, I think what's important here is actually getting to meet Max, Lottie, and Margot, because their story, how they told the story to us, we're so amazed by it. You know, I'm sure, even for myself, for the last episode, I was already tearing up, even if I've seen it so many times, right? So, you know, every time you hear that words that the Filipinos are compassionate people, that we're very much welcoming, that we share even if we don't have much, I think that's really us, even from the very beginning, right?
I think the very basic one is kindness. Kindness goes a long way. Kindness really goes a long way. It's basically that. what really struck me was when Margaret told us that the self-worth that the Philippines has given has gone so wrong.
I guess it's also important to note no, na given the times today, we're all, I mean, as a country, as a nation, we seem very, against each other at these times. So this story is actually a good reminder na, hey, ito talaga tayo as a nation, ito tayo bilang mga Pilipino. So it's really nice to look back.
Thank you, Denny.
Okay, we have another question. Oh, okay.
So what's the plan here? I understand. I see on the screen that this is also produced by the same producers of Quezon's Game. So what's the plan? Are you going to play side by side the movie as it shows around the world?
So starting tonight, sir, 9 p.m. onwards, and every single day on I Want, you will see it. So if you can actually share this with your friends, family, tell them to download the app. It's 4 episodes, and you don't really have to watch it one sitting, but you can if you want to. That's one way to watch the series. But of course, we're also looking forward to sharing it globally. It'll actually be seen 2 weeks after the Philippine release. It will be seen globally. It will be available at tfc.tv, the counterpart of I Want Abroad. And also, we are also looking at submitting this documentary to festivals, and so that a lot of people can actually see it.
What we saw tonight is the entire
Yes,
series.
sir. It's the entire series. You're the first group of people who's actually seeing this for the very first time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, I have a few questions over here.
Congratulations to your endeavor. It's so heartwarming and it's so educational. I am MacDonald Pascual, faculty member of the Department of History at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Where did you begin? I mean, how did you stumble upon the story? Because it's really for a history practitioner like me. It's really difficult to look for a piece of evidence wherein you can draw information from which you would be able to develop your piece. And I'd like to thank Dr. Jose here for mentoring me because I'm a World War II enthusiast. Thank you.
For starters, I think dun po talaga sa Quezon's Game. So, kasi it was already produced and actually it's already being shown then on cinemas. And then we were told, and we actually watched the movie, of course. And then that's when we started looking for articles, books, videos, and then, of course,
It actually started with a plan that we're gonna do a short film about Quezon's Game just to promote the movie.
It's supposed to be a supporting
It's a supporting
content.
file or content for Quezon's Game. And so we were tasked to go to Israel and interview these refugees. And when we finally did, we had a lot of good accounts. And we finally formulated a narrative after that.
That's why we were also thankful with Tita Tech. Tita Tech was a very good friend of Margot, so she linked us to her. That's why we were able to get appointments with her, actually setting that trip to Israel, meeting Margot, right? And of course, Margot has a link with Lottie, so we have TFC friends there also who was able to shoot for us. And then Max's, through the help of the Philippine Embassy, we were able to get a hold of him. Sir.
Okay, last couple of questions.
Thank you. I'm Jose De Viste. I'm the chairman of the Philippine-Israeli Business Council of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and also an honorary member of the Israel Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Ambassador, good evening, good to see you. And I'd like to thank you for your efforts, but I'm addressing myself to you and the other members of academia here. How can we in the private sector, the business sector, support your efforts? I, for one, would like to see, and we will have fun through various private organizations, programs that you can develop in the universities for Israeli studies. Because Israel is bigger to us than just being part of the Middle East. Israel is very much a part of our history. And lastly, Israel is part of our future. Israel is a startup nation. Israel is center of innovation. And they even save water in Israel. And it's basically, there's a lot of desert in Israel. So let's work together, and I'll stay later, and I want to find out how we can help in the private sector.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thank you so much.
A few more.
From the students.
Good evening po. I am a student from Polytechnic University of the Philippines. Taking Bachelor of Arts in History. Ang question ko po is, since sinabi niyo po kanina na mahalaga na maunawaan at maibahagi po natin yung kasaysayan, my question po is, ano pa po yung ibang channel para po sa ganon ay mabigyan ng pagkakataon ng mga kabataang Pilipino, hindi lamang po kami kundi ang mga kapwa po natin at kaibigan na naninirahan po at nais malaman ang tungkol sa mga kaibigan po nating Jews na naka-experience po nung history na yon. Ano pa po yung pwedeng naming maging channel para po i-raise yung awareness or i-share yung documentary na to other than I Want TV po? Thank you.
Well, of course, no. Thank you so much for your question. I think what I always tell to my students, social media is very much available, right? We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram. You can actually just share just a photo of whatever man you're reading, whatever you're watching. I think you being here is a lot of help already to a lot of Filipinos, to young Filipinos. Because you actually posting something that you've seen something like this is gonna help them educate themselves as well. But because of that simple tweets, that simple post, that simple message that you post out there, I think it'll inspire them to watch documentary as well. Word of mouth is very important, I think. Yes. So also, if you have friends abroad, you can tell them that they'll be seeing it there also via TFC. Okay.
All right, we have a comment here and a question.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I'm Nana Benigno, senior writer of CBN Asia. And I just like to say that we are great lovers of Israel. And since 8 years ago, we have been featuring the Holocaust survivors. Do you know there's one Last Manilaner? Another one. His name is Ralph Brace. He lives in the United States. And what he says is, because you saved my life, I have saved so many other lives. Because he was part of the team from IBM, I think, that invented the radar system that keeps airplanes from crashing into each other in the air. So because we saved his life, we have saved so many other lives. So I think his story is worth pursuing, although he is in the US. And another question I have, I met Margot Pins in 1996. I was at the Mashab for a scholarship, and Danny Pins told me, my mother loves Filipinos. Can you come and meet her? And she actually brought me to her apartment, fed me a tuna dinner, so delicious, let me sleep in her bed. She didn't know me, she just knew I was a Filipina. And so the relationship began from there. She met Tech also, and she was here last January to see Porvenir Street, where they used to live. And my question is this, and this is her question too. Why aren't we in the Holocaust Museum of Yad Vashem if we saved more Jews than Hitler?
First about the Filipinos, the fact that he hosts you and you were sleeping at the residence. No, we love Filipinos in Israel. We have 30,000 Filipinos which are living and working in Israel. And all the young people, if you want to go to Israel, go tomorrow, Walang visa. It's very unique for you. And it's very unique because Filipinos need visa to most countries in the world except for Southeast Asia. And the reason is because of those two great presidents, President Manuel Quezon and President Manuel Rojas. Actually, last week when we had the ceremony of the 75 years for the Auschwitz-Birkenau, the Filipino embassy conducted an event in Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum, and actually President Duterte visited the museum, and actually now Yad Vashem decided that the story will be incorporated in the Yad Vashem Museum, so it's something very, very important, and thank you very much.
Oh, great. Hallelujah.
Thank you so much. We have last two, if that's okay.
So, good evening po. I'm Sean January Aguita from Herman Magsaysay High School, Espanya, Manila. Balik po tayo sa tanong ng isa pong estudyante kanina sa PUP. Sinabi niyo po na sa pamamagitan ng technology is ma-encourage natin yung mga kabataan na parang mapanood yung ganitong uri ng documentary. So ngayon po bilang estudyante, ano po ba yung mga iba pang documentary na mas makakapuko ng damdamin o atensyon ng mga kabataan natin na parang mas bigyan nating pansin yung kasaysayan natin, kasaysayan ng Pilipinas bilang isang mamamayang Pilipino. So ngayon po, as nandito na rin po tayo, ano po ba yung mga susunod pong dokumentary na maaari naming masubaybayan para mas makilala pa nga natin yung sarili nating bansa?
Sige. Salamat sa tanong mo, no? I think bukod sa The Last Manilaners, I Want, sobrang dami niya kasing dokumentaryo makapanood. Kasi when you download the app, hindi lang naman pelikula at saka palabas sa TV yung mapapanood natin. Meron din tayong mga documentaries that you'll see there. Not just The Last Manilaners, like katulad ng nakaraan, naglabas tayo ng TNT Boys, Journey to the World Stage. Meron tayong mga parating pang mga dokumentaryo na po pwede ninyong panoorin. Kami dito sa ABS-CBN at sa I1, ang effort namin talaga dito is to create something for you, not just movies, not just TVs, but documentaries. Because we believe sa power ng non-narrative storytelling.